What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and welcome to another Cool Tech episode where we take a look at some of the products that have arrived in the last few months that are very interesting, whether it is for desk setups, your home, your EDC, or your travel bag. And in this one, we have a lot of desk setup accessories. You've got this new keyboard from OnePlus in collaboration with Keychron, an iPad desktop setup, Sonos Era 300 speaker, which is really good for any smart home or office setup, and also some camera equipment as well. So as always, if you guys would like to win a product from this video, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and leave a comment down below with your Instagram username, and I'll be contacting a winner directly in 2 weeks. In this video, you guys are also gonna get an introduction to some of the new sets that we have in our new office. So I hope you guys are excited, because my whole goal here was to try to bring some variety between all the different products and backdrops that we present them in. So let's just go ahead and get started. So a couple months ago, we received our new lineup of products from Sonos, and it's one of the brands that I've really loved over the years. I've had them throughout all of my setups and throughout my homes, my Airbnbs, and the ecosystem element of Sonos is amazing. One thing though is that some of the products needed some updates. The Sonos Play 1, for example, the Play 3 and the Play 5 were getting a little bit dated, and so they announced the new Era lineup a few years ago, and the first one that we checked out is a smaller brother, the Era 100. So I really like that in this office specifically, but of course, the one that we really wanted to check out is the Sonos Era 300. It is a larger model of that speaker, and if you have the room for it, it is really able to deliver a ton of power, and even more so if you combine it with a few of the Sonos Era 100s. It uses spatial audio technology that is immersive and room filling, and that is a word that you've heard a lot of over the years when it comes to audio technology. Not only is it down to like hardware and optimization nowadays, but that optimization comes in creating multiple dimensions to give you the most immersive experience possible. The Sonos Era 300 from a hardware standpoint has 6 position drivers around the front, the sides, and the top, as well as 4 tweeters for the high and mid frequencies and 2 woofers for the low end output. The 6 speakers specifically is very interesting because what makes a good speaker is the directions that it's able to output the sound. And a lot of times speakers are just on the front. You've also seen 360 designs, but in this case, you actually have speakers that point to the top as well, in addition to the sides and the front, to give you that true spatial experience. I absolutely love it. I have it in the office in a few places, and I think this new lineup is the update that was needed from Sonos that we've been waiting many years for. So the next product right here is a really cool accessory for people who work from their iPad. I personally tried to switch to an iPad in the past, especially for on-the-go setups, because it is just easier to focus. It is also easier just to simplify your overall workflow. What this Kensington dock is able to do is it's not only able to present your iPad in a very nice way, but it also has a whole array of hubs on the back. So if you go ahead and plug it into a computer screen, for example, you're able to connect external storage and really take advantage of the iPad. And especially if you have an Apple Silicon iPad like the M1 or the M2, the portable power is already really impressive. And especially with optimized apps on the iPad, you're able to take advantage of that. The ports on the back include an SD card reader, a USB Type-C port, as well as 3 USB-A ports, a 3.5mm jack, and an Ethernet. And you also have wireless charging on the front for some of your other devices. I think it looks great, it presents nicely, you can also rotate it, but the only thing is it is quite expensive, and it is specific to the size of the iPad that you choose to buy it for. So in my case, I have an 11-inch and a 13-inch iPad, but I did end up picking it up for my 11-inch iPad. And so far, I think if your iPad is like a pretty permanent and important part of your setup, it is definitely something that is worth investing in, and pairing it with a monitor, or in my case, like a studio display, gives you a very clean look. So the next product right here is the DJI Mavic 3 Classic. It actually came out quite a while ago, and I'm just talking about it now, but it's actually something that I picked up because originally I had the Mavic 3, and I just found that I wasn't really using a lot of the features, and because I wanted the screen and the remote, it was actually a better deal to go ahead and sell my Mavic 3 and buy the Mavic 3 Classic. This is one though that allows you to capture at the best quality possible for a pretty good price point, and having the screen and the remote itself and its 15-kilometer range makes it very easy to fly fly anywhere. And even as like a beginner like myself, I still find that it is very manageable. And on top of that, it comes in at a price of under $1,500. And it shoots at a resolution of 5.1K. The 4/3 CMOS 20 megapixel Hasselblad camera also gives you 12.8 stops of dynamic range, which is very solid. But the biggest thing here is with the D-Log and the 10-bit codec, it gives you quite a bit of latitude to grade that footage, and especially in scenarios where there is harsh sunlight or large disparity between the highlights and the shadows, having the most latitude possible is going to make or break the capture that you get. Some of the accessories that I do recommend is to go ahead and pick up some ND filters, and that is really all you need. The battery life is over 45 minutes, so for the most part, you're able to get many different shots when it comes to takeoffs and landings on a single charge. So on a lot of trips when we don't have space for a lot of spare batteries, I could go with just one battery and trust that we're able to get all of the establishing shot footage that we need. We've brought this to places like Turkey, to Paris, Australia, Bora Bora, and on the last trip especially, we were able to capture some incredible content that you guys are seeing on the screen right now, which is test footage that comes from the Mavic 3 Classic. So the next product right here is the new OnePlus Keyboard. This is something that OnePlus worked on in conjunction with Keychron, and it's really cool to see two companies that are really good in their field come together to build an ultimate product. This keyboard has elements of OnePlus design and hardware paired with Keychron's experience in the keyboard industry, and you can see that right here. You've got the red buttons, the grays, the metal construction, and it is also compatible with Mac, Android, Linux, iOS, and Windows, and it works wirelessly, but you do also have the option to plug it in as well. And on top of that, I love the hinge that is built into the back because it is a unique way to be able to adjust positioning of the keyboard specifically. As you take a look at the side, you can see it has like elements of sharp edges and curves, and you also have this translucent dial here, which allows you to control stuff like volume. It is a 75% layout, which I think is a very good medium because a lot of people don't really like to use a 65% keyboard. And it also has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery that gives you 100 hours of usage, and it's available in a tactical winter bonfire switch and a linear summer breeze switch as well. It features an all aluminum design that is nicely cut out as well as PBT keycaps, and it is also hot swappable, so you could put your own switches of your preference as well. So the next product right here is the LG 45-inch ULTRAGEAR OLED curved display. And I absolutely love curved displays when it comes to gaming setups. And the games that I tend to play on my PC are Formula 1, racing games in general, and now we've also set up a flight simulator because building a flight simulator is something that I've wanted to try for quite a while, and there's no better monitor to be able to put this together with than the one from LG. And I want to give a huge thanks to them for sponsoring this video. The reason why you want to go with a curved display for a setup like this is because it delivers the most immersive experience possible. And for gaming, I feel like this WQHD resolution being a 21:9 aspect ratio and the width that it has is that perfect middle point. It's a 3440 by 1440 resolution, and it has an 800R curved radius with anti-glare low reflection. The 800R is a little bit more curved than a typical widescreen curved display, but that is able to be more immersive as you look around within your field of view. It is the world's first 240 Hz refresh rate OLED gaming monitor and has a response time of 0.03 milliseconds. It also has AMD FreeSync and NVIDIA G-Sync, so all of the optimizations for any game or graphics card is already there. But taking a look at the flight simulator here, you could see that we fly over all these destinations that look so detailed and so amazing, and especially from the cockpit view, it really does feel like you're sitting in the cockpit of a plane, and there's no better monitor that could have been used for a setup like this. So if you guys want to go ahead and check it out for yourself, I'm going to drop a link down below, and a huge thanks once again to LG for sponsoring this video. So another product that we're also checking out recently is the Insta360 ONE RS 1-inch. The 1-inch stands for the 1-inch sensor that captures a 6K resolution, as well as a partnership with Leica in the lens elements, which is something that we have seen in smartphones, for example. And this is like the flagship model of the 360 camera that Insta360 makes. You guys have seen us check out the Insta360 cameras before, but this one allows you to capture a higher resolution as well as more detail and better image quality quality overall thanks to the 1-inch sensor. It is a little bit larger, but it does still have a nice modular format. And on top of that, you also have a screen for all the controls and the field of view. It is also IPX3 water resistant and comes in at a price of $800. The reason why we use this is for videos such as travel films, as well as car videos, where we just want to capture that extra dimension to add to the footage. Having it on the invisible selfie stick gives you a drone-like effect that is relatively close that you can just stick out of the window, drive along, or run around, and it gives you the most peripheral vision possible, or even a cool effect like walking on the globe. There are just so many functions such as time-lapse and all these different modes that I personally don't use many of. I typically just stick to the 360 camera, and with the resolution you're able to reframe, and also the stabilization built in thanks to the flow state is really, really good. It definitely isn't like a replacement for any of my cameras, but in our case, I typically just like to use it to add that extra dimension for a few seconds in a video like a car video or a travel video, and just like kind of walking along and keeping it relatively subtle. So another phone that I received a few months ago that was announced at MWC when we were in Barcelona is the Honor Magic5 Pro. Honor's been a company that has been challenging the flagship market by offering incredible products at good value, but this is essentially the flagship challenger in the lineup that has all the best specs, the best hardware that 2023 has to offer. It's actually one of my first times using an Honor phone, and honestly, I'm really impressed by the camera technology. It features a triple 50 megapixel camera setup that also has a 100x zoom option. And breaking it down, it features a 50 megapixel f1.6 23mm main camera, a 50 megapixel f3.0 90mm periscope camera, as well as a 50 megapixel f2.0 13mm ultra-wide camera, and on the front you've got a 12 megapixel camera. I really like the way the back is designed. The hardware is very soft, has a nice finish to it, and it's available in many different colors. And on the front, you have a 6.8-inch LTPO display. The front-facing camera is actually very nicely hidden on the top left corner, and with an 1800 nit peak brightness and a 120 Hz refresh rate, it really has the best that display technology is able to offer right now through the OLED panel. From a performance standpoint, it features a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 4nm processor with an Adreno 740 GPU with up to 12 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs of storage, and all of that is paired with a 5100 milliamp hour battery. Being one of my first experiences with an Honor phone, I can tell you that I am very impressed with the tech that comes of it, and I really want to check out some of the future models that Honor is working on. So let me know if you guys have any questions of this smartphone particularly, but honestly, my favorite part is the camera. The camera really did a good job in terms of the image quality, the balance between them, but also having 50 megapixels on all three cameras is awesome, and the zoom tech is actually really nice, and the 90mm really lets you get up close, and paired with the hybrid zoom and digital zoom, you can really zoom into certain objects, and I find that for sports and for travel to be very nice to add that extra dimension, but also having 50 megapixels on the ultra-wide camera is awesome for landscapes. In these episodes, I also like to usually include at least one TV, and the new TV that has arrived in the office recently is very exciting. It is Sony's brand new X93 model for 2023, and it is a Bravia XR 4K Mini LED HDR Smart TV. Some of the reasons why I went with a Mini LED TV instead of an OLED was because it is able to get a lot brighter, and nowadays with the Mini LED technology, it is able to give you the great contrast and deep blacks, as well as amazing characteristics that all come from OLED TVs, but also give you the benefit of the brightness, the color rendition, and so after having all the flagship Sony TVs for the past 3 years, one of the biggest features is also the optimizations. Sony's Cognitive XR chip delivers wide dynamic contrast and natural colors, but also has the optimizations equipped to always deliver the best image quality possible. It is also powered by Google TV OS, which has been my preferred platform of choice over the past couple years after trying out Roku, the Samsung TV interface, as well as even using an Apple TV. I just found that overall for a built-in optimized ecosystem, the Google TV has been really good. It also has Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos support, and it's available in a 65, a 75, and an 85-inch size, and the one that I have here is a 75-inch TV. I'm honestly still pretty split between my OLED TV and my mini LED TV because in my bedroom I actually have the flagship OLED TV and in the living room I use the mini LED TV. But I can say that if you're in like an apartment or any scenario where you can really benefit from that maximum brightness, then a mini LED TV is still the one that I would go for. And I would honestly say the contrast and the deep blacks, because of the independent mini LED backlighting, is really that highlight feature that makes the mini LED TV a very compelling option if you're comparing it to an OLED. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching this video. And as always, if you enjoyed it, make sure to go ahead and drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.